You may be hearing some buzz lately claiming that the housing market is heading for a crash. Will the 23 housing market be a repeat of 2008? Find out on today's episode of Rockin' Real Estate News. Welcome to Rockin' Real Estate News. I'm Alice Cooper, and I look forward to answering what's rockin' in Daytona Beach real estate. So you may be hearing people talk about a housing market crash on the horizon. And you may have seen recent studies by LendingTree that found that 41% of Americans believe that the housing market will crash within the next 12 months. 2 out of every 5 people believe the market is going to crash. And the majority believe it's going to be as bad or worse than 2008. So where do people get this information? We're definitely seeing an economic slowdown, and some people may automatically assume that a housing market crash is inevitable. But a lot of people are being misled by inaccurate news articles. So take a look at this article from a couple weeks ago. The headline, 15 years ago, the housing market crashed under similar circumstances. Sure, that sounds like we're going for a crash. But what's really going on in the market and how today's housing market actually is nothing like 15 years ago, let's take a look. Let's look at the side-by-side comparison of '08 and our current market. First, job cuts were 8 million in the last cycle, where there are virtually none right now. The economy is slowing, but if anything, the employment market has been the anomaly in this economic slowdown. Total jobs are 138 million in '08 and 158 million today. Subprime loans were everywhere 15 years ago, and today, virtually non-existent. New construction during that time period was over 7.5 million. Now we have only 4.5 million in new construction. That means our building deficit is in the millions. And then inventory, which is the biggest gap. We were right at 4 million homes on the market back then, and now we are only about 1 million nationwide. And then we have the mortgage delinquency and foreclosures with huge differences from today versus 15 years ago. So let's talk about foreclosures for just a minute, because they're another really great comparison of the then versus now. Here we see foreclosures are slightly up last year, there's no doubt, but they're still near record lows. And if you look through the third quarter of this year, there are around 88,000 foreclosures in the US compared to 19, which was the last normal year before COVID and the moratorium. There were 278,000 in 19. But then if you look back to '09, we had 2 million foreclosures. The truth is, people have so much equity in their homes today, they can simply just go out and sell their homes, pay off that mortgage, and still put a little bit of money in their pocket. And they're able to get past whatever their current crisis is at the moment. Back in '08, the option to sell just simply wasn't there for millions. And the question wasn't going to be, are you going to lose money? It was how much. The question today may be, you might not be able to make as much money as you would have back in the spring, but no doubt, strong appreciation over the last couple of years is certainly benefiting sellers. So remember, when you hear people talking about a housing market crash and how we're going to see a repeat of '08, today's market is not even a little bit similar to 15 years ago. Also keep in mind that 2020 and 21 will go down in history as 2 of the most spectacular years in real estate. They were also anomalies that are not benchmarks of a normal market. Instead, we should look back to pre-pandemic years and when the market was still very healthy to get a broader picture of what's actually going on in the real estate market. Be sure to tune in next week where we'll be talking about the latest news in Daytona Beach housing market. Until next time, rock on, rock stars.